Hey, church family. Welcome to day 79 of going through the Psalms. We are on Psalm 79. I'm going to read just a few verses from it, but I hope you take some time later today to read the entire thing. So, Psalm 79 is defined by a question right here in verse 5. How long, O Lord? It's a question that echoes throughout the Psalms, from Psalm 13 to Psalm 88, Psalm 89. The writers are asking, how long, O Lord, until you make things right? Let's read just these middle three verses, verses 5, 6, and 7. How long, O Lord, will you be angry forever? Will your jealousy burn like fire? Pour out your anger on the nations that do not know you, and on the kingdoms that do not call upon your name, for they have devoured Jacob and laid waste his habitation. This question in verse 5, how long, O Lord, is a question asked in the mud. This is a phrase I literally just made up moments ago, but I like to call it's an in the mud question. Questions asked in the mud are those questions that are asked when you're stuck. You're stuck in the muck and the mire of life and you're longing for a rescue. In the mud questions are questions that are laced with expectation, but accompanied by and even defined by a very real and deep sense of lament and fear. It's good and important for us to acknowledge the lament and the fear that's in this psalm. Verses 1 through 4 talk a lot about what is to be feared. The holy temple has been defiled, Jerusalem is in ruins, murder is rampant throughout the streets. There's a lot of lament and fear. But there is also hope, and that's where verse 5 comes in. The very presence of a question like this, of an in the mud question, how long, O Lord, indicates an abiding sense of hope. The asking of a question like this presupposes that someone hears and that that person will answer. When there's a question like this in this psalm or even in our own hearts, it's an indication that hope is still real. Hope hasn't been canceled. And this question in verse 5 proves to be the turning point for this psalm as the psalmist begins to address God directly, praying and asking for deliverance. But I want us to just reflect on this question. I wonder if any of you have any in the mud questions. How long, O Lord, until this pandemic is over? How long, O Lord, until racial injustices are no more? How long, O Lord, until my depression ceases? How long, O Lord, until my child is healed? How long, O Lord? Friends, the encouragement of this psalm is to keep asking your questions. The presence of an in the mud question in your heart is not a sign of weakness. Asking questions like this, asking how long, O Lord, is a brave and bold expression of your faith and trust. Because the willingness to ask a question like this reveals that somehow and some way you do believe in a God who hears and who will answer. And the reality of a God like this is the very promise that we're given in Scripture. Our God is a God who came in the mud to be with us in the midst of sorrow and suffering, trials and temptations, and to deliver us from these things one day. And while we still experience them, He promises to be in the mud with us. So ask openly and honestly, how long, O Lord, and wait on the Lord who is faithful to meet with you.